3 random words, 2 additional challenges equal 1 movie pitch. This is Scripty Business. We take on random words and challenges to make the best movie possible. We get 5 minutes with 3 random words to come up with a rough movie idea. Then we spin our Wheel of Doom to throw a curveball into the mix. After 20 minutes with this added challenge, we spin the wheel for another prompt for an extra 20 minutes. After the time is up, one of us has to summarize what the hell this movie is and deliver it to you in just 5 minutes. It's chaos. It's risky. It is Scripty Business. How you feeling, Murray? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm so I want to get into it. I'm ready. Like, I'm kind of a little nervous, you know? It's like
I'm nervous
because it's like a new format, and we're like, we're ready to get out the cannon, ready to just like.
It's the same as always, but it's condensed into a 1 hour long episode. That's the biggest part of this.
With
that
2 wheel spins.
Yeah, 2 wheel spins to deal with in the space of 1 hour.
There's no brakes on the train.
Nope.
You know, I'm just gonna keep drinking water.
I'm gonna be very tired by the end of this hour, like always. I'm not as tired as normal to start with, though. So give me that, listeners. This is a new Welsh for this year. Still dad mode. Still lack of sleep. Still overworked, but doesn't matter when it comes to recording time. I think, Murray, that we should probably get things started, but most importantly is to really stress to everybody that this is an hour straight. There is no gaps. There is no recovery. There is no chance to think at all as we go. So please bear with us if we cock some things up, because we're going to this time around.
That's, I think, maybe the best part of the show. I got. Do you have your timer, by the way? Because I don't have.
I do.
Clock.
I'm already good. So, yeah, I'm in charge of timer. I'm in charge of words, and I will tell Murray when he needs to spin the Wheel of Doom at each point through this process. So, great point. We may screw up the timing for the first couple episodes because this is completely, slightly new for us to deal with. But damn it, we're going to give it a red hot go, aren't we? We're going to go for it.
We are. And look, in the immortal words of myself about a year ago, strap on and hold in.
Well, yeah, on that note, I guess let's find our 3 words that we're going to do it. All right. Our 3 words are, and I'm about to start our first 5-minute brainstorming timer. Jump, cold, pernicious. Time starts now.
Okay, can I get definition of what that 3rd word is?
Having a harmful effect, often in a gradual or subtle way. So I'm thinking like erosion over time. I'm thinking cancer. I'm thinking.
I have ideas. I'm ready to. I'm ready to go. I'm geared up. I'm warm. Let's go. In we go. Okay. You remember the movie Cliffhanger? Good, because that is what we're about to do. We're about to do Cliffhanger on Everest, motherfuckers. Let's go. We got cold. We got jump. We got pernicious. We're talking frostbite here, ladies and gentlemen. Like what? Yes, we're in. Good, amazing. Get Arnie on the horn.
Never seen Cliffhanger, but I can imagine what it's about. I've not seen Cliffhanger. That's not a movie I've seen. What can I say? What's Cliffhanger about? You've got 4 minutes left of this brainstorming, and I'm already sold on the idea of doing this. So, can we do like bungee jumping?
Oh my god!
Jump?
Yeah.
Is it going to be like bungee jumping off of?
You know what? Like, I said it was Arnie, but I was wrong. It's actually Sylvester Stallone. So we're off to a really good start.
Amazing. I'm so glad I'm here for it. What about instead of like mountains though, because it's cold, and I know mountains are cold, why don't we do like bungee jumping off icebergs in the Arctic Circle of some description? I'm not good with maps or geography. We've covered this.
Okay. What if are we talking like a rescue movie here? Are we talking like a heist movie? Are we talking like a spy movie? Because I feel like that's going to change the jump, you know, because if it's a rescue movie, maybe they get a helicopter and they send like it's a South Pole or North Pole rescue and they get as close as they can. They jump out the helicopter and then they got to like trek through to save this person or whatever.
Okay. Yes.
And it's like a time clock type thing.
And that's the pernicious element of it, is that the people they're trying to rescue are slowly dying because of hypothermia and frostbite and all the rest of those terrible things that happens when you're exposed to the elements. So that's the harmful effect in a gradual or subtle way, because it can't be,
Okay. What do you remember a couple of years ago, I think it was a couple of years ago, the kids that got stuck in the cave in Thailand?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, so what if it's like a scenario like that? Because that probably would have been cold and scary and whatever. And I'm not sure how we feed the jump in. Maybe there's some cave jumping, or like the only way in is to like jump in through a hole, or like the only way out is like swim underneath, and then there's like a free fall to like a different part of the cave or something like that.
I've just realized that I'm
just trying to think.
Scramble to make this into a movie. So I'm trying to think of which.
I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I think the cold stuff is like great, like the kind of like southern pole. But I'm like, what is another angle that we can like get at this thing and like figure it out and make it feel like twist
because
that
it's
up, you know,
because it's my week. I feel like I want to take these words as on the nose as possible. So
how dare you coward.
You get next week. I'm saying that these are extreme sports enthusiasts that are essentially base jumping and let's go base jumping. Let's go base jumping. All right, go on.
Wait. It's not the pitch yet. You don't get to override anything. We're still in the brainstorming phase, buddy.
I'm aware, but I'm the one that's going to have to salvage it. So I'm pushing hard for something I know I can salvage and not cave swimming. And I'm going cold jump. That's all I've got in my head. Is it needs to be cold, it needs to be jumping, not cave swim.
Do you know what else is called, Welsh?
This water you're about to drink? Yes. You know I love a space
and jumping
thing.
From one ship to another is it's the bowler move.
Okay. Let's boil it down. This is a rescue movie, right? We're gonna boil it down to broad strokes. We're making a rescue movie about people that are dying slowly due to cold in a cold environment, and jumping comes into it in some way, shape, or form. That's our big things we're taking off. You've got 20 seconds. Hurry up. 20 seconds before we spin.
It's set in space, right? It's on a spaceship, and their like life support system is failing, so it's getting cold. They're running out of oxygen. So it's about mounting a rescue to get there to them, but something goes wrong and they have to jump from one ship to another, i.e. jump through the infinite coldness of space in order to be rescued.
Well, that's what we got to work with for now. Murray, it is time to spin the first wheel. Let's see what the hell we get. Oh my Christ. And I'm starting the timer, so the length of time it's taking the wheel to spin is a detriment to us. Time has started. It's a ticking clock. We gotta go. No time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is set in the future.
Okay. So we can still go space. What if extreme sports in the future, there's nothing left to do on our planet? Every cool thing has been done. We saw that Red Bull, the guy that did the drop from skydive from like the upper atmosphere. Yeah. So what if extreme sports has transitioned from being on the Earth to in space?
I love this. Okay, so this is an idea I've had for a while for a different project. This is a project that I'm working on outside of this podcast, but I'm going to rehash the idea here because I love it. The idea of like hoverboards in space, racing from one side of an asteroid belt to the other is like just the coolest shit to me.
Okay.
They're like little like jet powered snowboards essentially. It's like what it would be. Like it's a snowboard with like a jet engine on the back kind of thing. And you race through like minefields, like tiny little asteroid fields in space. As an extreme sport.
Are these sanctioned events? Is this legal race, or is this like street racing that we're kind of doing here?
Oh, it's probably a bit of both, to be honest. Like they probably have their like legalized, more safe, like speed limited version or whatever, or like less asteroids, but then there's like the pirate version of this where they've got like bombs and minefields and like pirates that like hunt you down. It's kind of like pod racing. You know what? It doesn't have to be a hoverboard. Why don't we make it like little spaceships?
Now
We
that's
make it like
pod
little
racing.
tiny one-person spaceships.
What if? Right. Okay. You've got me going fast and furious with this already, because it's like it's illegal street racing in these asteroid belts. What if? Okay. Hear me out. What if there is the fully sanctioned ones? There's the illegal races that they do. What if there's been an incident with the legitimate version of these races, and there is a crew that is stranded without the life support, and the biggest problem is, let's just say in this future that the oxygen balancing is not the problem. It's the power source to your suit to regulate temperature. Or maybe it's like a dark side of the moon type of thing, and they're in a situation which is about to be cut off from direct sunlight, so that temperature is going to plummet. That's the
Especially
thing.
if your life support is damaged or something like that.
Yep. Okay. So that's the gradual danger that's happening. They are now officially detached from sunlight, and they're slowly dying from it. And yes, Murray, your turn.
Yes to everything that you've just said. Here's a slight twist on what it might be. What if it's that this is like a legitimate operation, right? So say something like mining or something that actually is like governmentally sanctioned that goes wrong inside an asteroid belt or particularly hazardous environment. And they're like, we don't have the people for this. We have to bring these like illegal street races in because they're the only people who like know how to navigate this stuff. What? No,
I love it.
You look.
We're getting like We're getting like is it Deep Impact or Armageddon? I always forget the one where they train the oil rig
people to blow up. Yeah, it's Armageddon.
Okay, that's I'm getting those vibes from
Maybe
this.
it is Deep Impact.
It's
asteroid. The Armageddon's the one where they blow it up with nukes because it's like a planet killer.
But don't they have to drill into the asteroid, and that's the whole thing?
I think they do.
Great, it's Armageddon then. I could stay awake just to hear you breathe. That one. You know exactly what I'm doing there. Right, okay. And we're going to get Steve Tyler to record an original song for this
we're good, yes.
as well. So Liv Tyler's got a star in it. That's a given. Oh, shit. Okay. So where's the jump coming into it? What's the jumping part of it? Can they not get close to it? So maybe they've got to jump from ship through space.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So maybe this is less of the hoverboardy thing. And what if this goes back to the base jumping sort of style where there are people that will jump from like spaceships and through asteroid belts and debris.
Yeah, I think we get all like Star Trekky on it.
So maybe
we get all Star Trekky on it, like
the asteroid belt. The asteroid belt that they're working on is too dense and too sporadic and random with its movements to pilot a ship through them. So they need to send people down like a space jump to get through to them.
Yeah, it's like a suicide jump, absolutely. So what I think what happens is like this mining operation goes wrong, and maybe it crashes into an asteroid and fractures a bunch of it, and that like kicks up a bunch of debris around it. Or like maybe there's like a series of rocks that get smashed. So there's like a debris field. So it's like we can't fly a ship; it's too big, but we can navigate like a torpedo or like an emergency escape pod or something that's like small enough to kind of be like this rough window with this little bit of curvature.
Oh, so you're still seeing like a craft making it through it? Because I'm seeing like 4 or 5 dudes in astronaut suits jumping from a rocket outside the asteroid belt and essentially like wingsuiting down through the asteroid belt to land and get to them. That's how I'm seeing this.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it would be more like a jet
sequence. Yeah. They'd have to have a fuel source, of course. Now, what then? When they get to the people that are freezing, then what? What's the point of them jumping down? Is it just to restart their life support systems? Is that too basic? Like, where's the risk element in this for the base jumpers themselves?
Yeah. No, that is a darn good question. Which is what? Okay, maybe if it's Yeah, I was thinking more like they have like big guy wire cables on them. So they are still like navigating through the field, but then they get down and they're like trying to attach these like wires to the ship to pull the ship out.
Are the wires strong enough to encounter like the odd asteroid hitting it then? Because I'm seeing it as like this asteroid belt is fucking crazy and there's no way to traverse it properly. So how would a guide cable work between 2 points when there's all this shenanigery happening around it? Like, we could make this cable strong enough, sure, but I feel like that kind of defeats the tension there and the excitement of them having to jump down.
Maybe it's about like bringing in something like thrusters or something to like move this asteroid out the way, or to like disconnect the ship. You know, like if we can like rig up the ship and send that out and blow the ship up, then it's going to clear the debris. Or I don't know, something like that. Like we create the shield and then the ship can zip in underneath, or like
we've circled Armageddon.
Landed on it.
And hear me out. What if these extreme sports asteroid jumpers need to train a team of mechanical engineers to be able to jump down themselves with the tools to repair it? So the movie, like the majority, it's the exact same. It's the exact same. But what if that's how we do it? So you've got like a chunk of the movie is them finding these engineers and these like exposable people that they can do this with, convincing them to join the program, training them in extreme sports, teaching them phrases like radical, all this sort of stuff. And then like the back end of the movie is the operation, and maybe some thrusters go wrong, some people get launched off into space.
Yeah, definitely. People are going to die. They're going to hit asteroids. They're going to get annihilated.
People are going to die in the training program.
I actually think we either flip it or we go half and half. So I think it's like a bunch of, because like learning the kind of navigating extreme skill, suicidal stuff, I think is going to be harder than learning the like mechanical engineering. I really don't think you're going to find mechanical engineers who are ready to commit suicide.
I don't think,
in my opinion,
I don't think you're going to find illegal space wingsuiters that can learn like thermodynamics and fucking.
Yeah, but they don't need to learn. They just need to be like this. Connect this wire to this. Like,
okay, what if they do?
Or the people are like on the horn.
Oh, okay. So we're talking like those movies where they've got to land the plane being like communicated to. So they've got to get people
exactly, because that gives us like a whole new chapter of tension, right? Where it's like these yo-ho fucking street thugs, and it's like, dude, I need you to do. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, which wire? So you get the wrong wire, you're gonna ruin everything. Like, and so maybe it could be a mixture. It could be like maybe half the mechanical engineers do the suicide jump, and then like half of the like illegal street racers are there on the ground to like help them do this. You know, like it's like a mix. Maybe it's a mixed bag, or I'm not sure, because that gives you that can give you tension. You know, like the engineers want to go one way and the illegal street people want to go another way, or like maybe this operation turns out to be illegal or some kind of like dodgy thing that's happening on there, mining extra resources, and then they get there and the people are like, you guys can never leave. Like this, you know, government secrets now that are like a problem.
Okay. So maybe, all right. Oh, okay. So maybe it's not like the whole movie to get to that point. Maybe getting there is actually 20 minutes, half an hour of this film. And then the real crisis happens where you're right. They can't leave. They are expendable. They didn't know that. And then it's like a ragtag group of street thugs and Harvard professors of space engineering and aerodynamics coming together to try and like build a way to get off of this asteroid belt. Maybe it's less, maybe they're told that they're going down there to save people, but they get there and the people are already dead. They would just get down there to set like a signal back to the main ship, and then they're going to die. So they're the ones that are in the situation.
I think like half the film is the training, getting ready, the hype, and the jump and stuff, right? And then they get down there and everybody's dead and they're like, what the fuck is going on? And then we slowly learn that like maybe one or two of them are rats, and they've actually brought like nukes with them, or like big explosives that'll kill everybody, and they're there to just like erase evidence.
Okay, so it's not recovering any data from there. It's just a cleanup. They're a cleanup crew. That's what you're saying? These two...
I think these two secrets are like, and maybe they have like their way off for only like two people or whatever, and then that's where the like Harvard professors and the other street thugs kind of come together to be like, all right, how do we like turn this into like if it's just like a 2-man escape pod, then we've also got these like fucking street thugs strapped to the outside of this thing being like, let's go.
I kind of love that. And I like the idea as well.
Because then it's the reverse. It's a reverse jump out.
Yeah. I like the idea of the street thugs having no interest in the engineering. It's like, oh, that's lame, man. Like, oh, that's not rad. And then these professors like showing them like, oh, this is actually pretty interesting, and like getting a spark in them. And then maybe one of the professors is like, you kids go. Leave me behind. I've given you the tools you need. Just promise me you'll become a professor of engineering too. And they're like, yeah, man, we will. We gonna live our lives for you now. And then they... and then it like has a flash forward sequence at the end where one of them is like leading a lecture and he's all gray and like glasses and stuff. And there's a picture of, the crew on his desk. Why, Murray? Why? Why do you hate it? That's nice.
Dude, do you know where my brain goes? The Harvard professor's like, no, let me sacrifice myself. And the street thug just like slaps him across the face. He's like, shut the fuck up, man. Throws him in the pod, locks him in there, and then just straps himself to the outside. Like...
That he doesn't make it.
Do you think you're hard, Professor?
Yeah, the street
Professor, you think you're hard?
Yeah, but you get the whole, like, these street thugs are going to be in their, like, 20s. These professors are in their 50s. It's very much like, you've got everything to live for. And then the kids being like, nah, man, like, I don't know my family. Like, I live on the belts. I ain't got no home.
I think you've got a mixture, right? I think you've got to have a mixture. Some of these dudes might have gone to uni at, like, 14 because they're literal geniuses. Like,
that's true. Well,
but yeah, I really like that. Yeah, maybe there's a sacrifice play of some kind, but I love this idea of the like street thugs strapping themselves to the outside of the rescue pod to do like another suicide jump. No, just because it can't contain them all, and they're just like, "This is what we do, man. You think this is my first time outside a rocket?"
I like the idea of them having to help navigate the pod back out, though, because they are the base jumpers that can do all the maneuverability. So maybe that's what it is, where they're like, now that we've got too many people in the pod or the pod's damaged or whatever, there's no way to navigate it. And the guy's been like, we got you, dudes. Strap on and hold in. And then they like strap onto the outside of the ship. And they're like on the outside, like screaming as they're like trying to like steer it with their engines.
Yeah, and if you want to have this moment where like maybe one of the thugs becomes a professor, and maybe one of the professors becomes like a thug, he's like, yes. No, strap me to the outside so I can do the math. And he's like, I gotta run the calculation pilot program from outside the ship. And these guys are like, don't worry, I got you. Like, you're gonna be bungee strapped to us, like.
And he's going to teach him angles on this journey down. Like, oh no, I just feel the waves of the gravity. He's like, no, like, this is acute, this is obtuse, 30 degrees, 45. So when it's like, he'd be like, 30 degrees right. And he's like, oh yeah, I know what that is now because you taught me.
He's seen the numbers? Wait, it flashed up on the screen. He's doing the math. I kind of dig it.
I can't believe you like this now. This is not your usual...
No, but it's like it's like a serious movie with like a weird sense of comedy to it in a way. You know what I mean? Like it's like very silly, and I enjoy that. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Point Break, but in space. That's what it reminds me of.
100%. That's without the
which is just like a silly film, but like but it has like a serious tone to it. Yeah.
Any of those, if you look like Con Air and the rest of them as well, it's very hard to take. It's so hard to take it seriously, but it is a serious movie and it's really good. Like, but you're laughing.
It makes me think of The Rock. Did you see The Rock? The one where they have like the bioweapon on Alcatraz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
we're making
Speed.
One of these.
I think Speed is a perfect example as well.
Oh my god, yes. Okay, here we are. Great.
Die Hard. Die Hard's a silly film.
Shut your mouth. It's not a silly film at all. It's magic.
Come on.
Nope. It's a great film. It's deadly serious.
He jumps off the roof strapped to a hose.
Yeah, which is great. That's not silly.
It's silly. It's silly.
I'll do it after this podcast and show you that it can be done. We've got 3.5 minutes before we with another thing. Is there anything? I feel pretty comfortable with what we've set out about this.
Good about the shape. I kind of want to just start throwing names out there. Like who's our thug turned professor? Is that Jerry?
Nah, that's Buck.
Okay, Buck.
Buck.
Okay, then I think the professor who straps himself to the outside is that Jerry?
Yeah. Or he's the first professor that dies when they land or some shit like that. Like there needs to be like
Jerry just gets, like take it out
completely. Like he's the Carmine, like in Gears of War, how there's always a Carmine that dies.
Yeah.
Jerry in Scripty 2.0, Jerry is the first person to die. That's just what happens. Yes. Okay. So, there needs to be some deaths early on to really set the stakes. That's a great question.
How big a team are we thinking?
Well, what are they being sent to do?
Betray.
They're being sent to rescue people, right?
They were meant to rescue, let's say, like a crew of 4 or 5.
Okay, so maybe we call it 6 to rescue, and they're taking down 2 drop pods to evacuate them, and one of the drop pods just entirely just disintegrates, like it doesn't make it to the thing. Because I really want to get some serious death.
I thought you said
happening.
They were jumping solo.
They are.
Because if they're jumping solo, we can lose like 3/4 of the team.
I like that.
Like if it's like a rescue team of 10 or something, we can lose like 6 of them.
Okay, perfect. They need
5.
They need to base jump from the spaceship to the asteroid fields facility. They need to basically strap the professors onto their fronts, like when you go paragliding and shit. You know exactly what I mean. You've done it, right? Yeah. So they need to one each take a professor down to fix it. So if we're saying like 2 or 3 professors, then we can get away with 2 or 3 base jumpers. This can be a pretty tight knit crew. It doesn't have to be. I think massive.
The professor and the thug that are strapped to, like they're the 2 betrayers. Maybe they're strapped together.
What if there's
or there's just one betrayer?
What if I reckon one of the professors is a betrayer.
Okay, and they're actually more like a marine. They're actually like a secret marine or something like that.
Yeah. And he just flat out kills like the guy that base jumps him down. Like maybe they get down there and then he just goes up to like a machine and turns it on. And one of the other professors is like, wait, hang on. Like if you're entering those codes correctly, this whole place is going to blow up. And he just turns around, bam, shoots him in the head. And then like one of the base jumpers is like, what the hell? And bam, shoots him in the head. It's like, oh shit.
Okay, so you just gonna kill him straight away. Okay.
Yeah. Because we got to set the tension.
Okay, then I think by the time they land on the thing, maybe we're like 3/4 of the way through the film.
I'm happy with that.
Because there's not a lot of characters left.
No. And then maybe he like at gunpoint puts the remaining professor or 2 and base jumper or 2 in a room. And then we have this whole like, oh man, like I knew I shouldn't have signed up for this. And then the professors can like engineer their way out of the room. And that's when the base jumpers start being like, these crusty old dudes are kind of cool. Maybe numbers ain't so lame.
But at this point, there's only one professor, one base jumper left?
Maybe. Doesn't matter. Time to spin that wheel again, baby! Let's see what we've got. Second wheel spin. Fuck. The timer continues to tick away. We're into the last 25 minutes. Don't make it Harry Potter. Don't make it Harry Potter. Because we're fucked.
Superpowers are real.
Superpowers are real? Okay. What if there is now superpowers are real doesn't mean that everybody in the world is superpowered.
No, it just means they're real, yeah.
So maybe this base is superpower related. Maybe that's why they've gone there, is to salvage a super soldier serum of some description. Because superpowers being real,
but it's like,
it doesn't have to be a superhero movie.
No, it doesn't have to be a superhero movie, but it needs to kind of be, I think, a little more central to the like why if superpowers are real, why are we just sending a bunch of like yo-hos when we could send Superman or whatever?
Maybe superpowers.
I'm not saying that a Superman exists in this world, but like I think we need to contextualize what superpowers mean. Like it could be something really small, like you can create a flame on your finger, or you can you make something slightly, they can be tiny superpowers, but I think that we need to contextualize it so that people coming into this film don't feel cheated. You know?
There's a book series that I really recommend where when it's a world where superpowers can exist, and when you get superpowers, it makes you basically a villain straight away. There are no good superheroes. When you get a superpower, it basically turns you into this like megalomaniac psychopath. So it's like a...
Is this Wildcard?
Nah, not Wildcards. It's called Steelheart is the first book. And essentially, superheroes run the world, and the resistance like live in the sewers and all that. And it's like a human resistance group trying to come up with a weapon to take down the superheroes to free the human race, because the superheroes just run the show and have everybody under their boot. What if we're talking a similar kind of thing where, look, superpowers are real, but only a select few have them, and they are dictators and control the population and all that sort of jazz. And maybe this facility again is linked to combating that. That's why it's like Dark Side of the Moon, like off-world.
Okay. I've got some ideas for you. One, this facility is looking for a cure for superheroes. If this is what it is, it's superhero.
Love it.
I think when you get a superpower, I don't think it makes you a megalomaniac as such, but I think what it does is kill empathy. Like it turns you into a sociopath or a psychopath. Like it lobotomizes the empathetic part of your brain.
Okay.
And then they are out off in space as the only means of protection. They're like hidden inside this asteroid belt because, like you said, superheroes rule the world. And I guess maybe like humans fled Earth or like live in space stations or something, because we need the space racing shit in there. And I don't think
we do now. Well. There's one of the three words that we still have. We've got it in the fact that it's cold and they're dying slowly. But what about if the pernificus or pernificus, which is the slowly damaging and harmful aspect, what if that's what superpowers do to you? So you get a superpower, but your biological half-life is like heavily increased because of it. Like it's almost like it's toxic. So you can do cool shit, but you are going to die in like a matter of months as soon as you can do a cool thing. So maybe it's less.
I like that.
It's a curse, not a boon. It's
What
like
I want to add to it. What I want to add to it is that the stronger your power is, the faster you die. So you might be able to just do a tiny little flame on your finger, and you might live to be 40. You would have lived to be 80, but you live to be like 40 or whatever. But if like you're Superman, it's like cool. You've got like 3 weeks or whatever.
So one of our characters has to absolutely have one of these shitty little superpowers then. And maybe that's when it comes in, is when when the remaining professors and, you know, space race dudes are trapped in the room. Maybe one of the professors literally like runs his finger along like a panel of metal and it just melts and breaks in. And they're all like, what the hell? He's like, yep, got about 2 months left thanks to this bad boy. And all he can do is like superheat very minor amounts of metal from the one finger.
It's like a plasma finger.
He's got a plasma finger. That's it. That's all he can do. But it only works on metals. Like he can't do it on anything else. Start a fire with wood, burn people. And that's why he's gone like unnoticed. And it's so minor that
but it becomes relevant.
I like it. Becomes relevant.
We need to centralize the superpower stuff a little bit more to like justify it in our movie. So I think the facility needs to be about superpowers or like, you know, and just maybe it was like tracing the origin of superpowers, or like, and we realize it's all man-made, like Serum V from the boys or whatever, Compound V. And that's what this facility is about either creating more superheroes or raising superheroes or something along those lines that just kind of like centralizes the motivation a little bit more. Because if it's like about creating superheroes, then this like secret Marine can have a vial of like 3-week suicide pill, Superman style stuff. And it's like, he gets caught out and he's like, it's like, we're going to space you. And it's like, go nuts, man. And then it's more like a alien scenario or whatever. And they have to like get away from this dude.
What if that facility was doing a cure for the ailment that is superpowers in this world, but the governments don't want it to be cured. Because say for example, you wake up one day and you've got super strength, and you go to the doctor, and he's like, you have a month left to live. Like, that's it. But then they give them a flyer. But they're like, but if you join the military with this new gift of yours, we're going to look after your family for life. Like,
your family gets pension or whatever.
Spend your last month working for us, and we will take care of your, like, beneficiaries. Like, they're covered. So maybe the government is aware of a cure, but is trying to eradicate that cure, because then they're going to lose.
But I think multiple countries do this. It wouldn't, because it would be like a Cold War, essentially. It would be like the inventions of nukes all over again. But maybe this is like a rogue, like UN style group, or like a rogue NATO, or like,
or World Health Organization.
And there was some kind of betrayal that happened, and they all died on there. But it's like their research was complete.
Yeah, love it. Maybe there was a mole working up there for this military body. And look, maybe I don't know where we're going with this. We've got 10 minutes to figure it out. Maybe the mole that was working there when it got close to completion tried to eradicate the evidence, but one of the people on there sort of stopped him mid-act. So everybody's dead, but the information is still there and the cue is still there. He didn't finish the task, and that's why our base numbers are being sent in to finish it.
There is another version that, like, he's the only one that survives, and he makes it look like everybody, like, died, ran out of oxygen, whatever, and he's, like, barely alive. But it's all kind of a ruse, because he knows that this Marine is coming, because he sent out the
call,
secret message, the call, whatever. And then that kind of allows them to, like, then they're like maybe like interrogating him, or like they're trying to figure out what the hell happened, and we're like, oh, it's this guy that's the betrayer. And then the secret Marine can kind of come out and be like, we're going to blow this place to smithereens. Maybe he sets the bomb up or whatever, and it's like, oh, we got to go now. It's like, no, we got to get this data. It's like, Professor, get the fuck off the ship. And he's like, no, this changes the humans. And then the like base jumper can make the decision as to, like, do I save the human race, or do I save this one professor? Like, or do I save myself? Like, what is the bigger moral conundrum here?
Oh, very cool. And I like that our flash forward of the street thug base jumper, now turned college engineering professor, basically living in a world where superpowers don't exist anymore. Like, they've cured it.
Oh,
that's the idyllic future flash forward that we get at the end, is of him, like, resting. Maybe maybe he has the power. Maybe this is how we get there. Maybe he has the power to get them out, right? And then that motivates the professor trying to take him under his wing to get him off planet with the cure, to get him back to world with the cure. So we, as the viewers, have this thing established that this dude's only going to last like another month because he's got the superpower. So when we do the flash forward to him as an old man, that instantly tells us that everything worked out for the best. The end. You know what I mean? It's a happy ending. We're getting a happy ending. No parents are being killed. We're not winning any Oscars. This is a warm and fuzzy ending, like in Con Air when he gives his kid the stuffed animal.
Yeah, it's the machinery of a flash forward that I'm not in love with, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there. I think you're right. He busts the professor out, and then he's like, "We're leaving, Professor," and the professor, like, freaks out and just bolts in the other direction. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" And, like, chases him down, and, like, the professor's, like, freaking out. It's just like, "We gotta go." It's like, "No, we gotta get this thing." And it's like, "I don't care if I die. We have to get this data." And so, like, that's when he makes the conscious choice to be like, "This motherfucker, like, I'm gonna have to, like, distract this Marine man." And so it's like becomes this cat and mouse while the professor's doing the data.
Well, what if that's even like there's a countdown happening for the whole station to blow up, and that's like they're going to evac the station, and we have this professor, like, getting antsy and like, no, we can't sacrifice everything they worked for, and he turns off and runs, like, tries to get to the source code, the cure, before it blows up. And then we've got our base jumper running after him. And then we could have this wicked sequence at the end, Murray, where our pro base jumper spaceship flyer suit guy is essentially like he's grabbed the professor with the cure and is flying and, like, dodging through this exploding space station to get him back to the ship. And then what if there's like, it's like he's got like a 30-second window to make it to the ship with the professor exposed, there's some weird gravity bubble around him with no oxygen. And he's trying desperately to get back to the main ship to save him. And when he gets there, the professor's like,
there's one thing I want to add though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to bring in this like almost like kung fu fighting movie element that we see in like Star Wars and stuff, right? Where they have the big laser duels. And so I think it is like base jumper v Marine superpowered fight, whatever at the end. While the professor's downloading the data, he's having his like Anakin versus Obi-Wan moment.
Okay. So it's not
as
the
like the ship is like in disarray. They're fighting. The nuke has been set because the Marines set the nuke, and then like I don't know, the control panel broke or whatever. Or it's a bomb, so dude doesn't know how to disarm it.
He started the process and then he crunched the control panel to stop it from being deactivated. Like classic villain move. He set the wheels in motion and then crunched everything. You can't stop
And the guy
it.
doesn't know how to defuse a bomb, so he's not going to be able to do that anyway.
No, he's just, and then the professor's just trying to download the information.
Yeah, and I think they have this like crazy fight. He beats the guy, however he beats him, and then he grabs the professor and has this like insane run, jump, fly, crazy ass maneuver, reverse jump back out to the pod ship.
Do you remember the Doom movie with Carl Urban and The Rock?
Yeah.
I'm seeing the end of that with this fight that you're talking about.
First person?
Not first person, but there is like a superpowered fight between Carl Urban and The Rock where they both take like the serum to give themselves this alien monster power and they have like a superpowered showdown. So what if that's kind of where we're getting to with this, where instead of it being a bullshit power, maybe the base jumper does actually have like crazy wicked like dexterity and strength, and that's why he's such a good base jumper. Like he's only recently come on the circuit. Like he's a kid. He shouldn't be leading this exploration thing, but he's proven himself that he can do it. And maybe it comes down to the fact that he can actually fucking fly. He can't just be really good at base jumping. Like he needs to actually have a power that works with it. And then the Marine that sets it all off takes the serum to hold him off. So you get this massive superpower showdown happening. And then the professor desperately trying to get the cure to give it to this kid that he has this like belief in, the first person to believe in him. And it's not because of his superpowers. It's not because he's a good base jumper. It's because he's a good person. Nobody's shown him that before. Yeah. He's an orphan. Right? So he's downloading the code. The two dudes are having this crazy superpowered fight. The Marine dies because of some bullshit physics engineering thing that the professor explained to him. Like maybe there's like a beam that falls on him and it's like, oh, I can lift that off. It's like, no, you can't because you're not on the right point of balance for this thing because physics. And that's how he trumps him. And then he picks him up and flies the professor out. They get the cure out. The professor dies, tells him to be better, be a better person, take this where it needs to go and right the world, but right yourself. And then he dies. And then we have like, this white screen transition to the kid as a professor. So we know he's being cured. And he looks at a picture on his desk and it has like him, the other two base jumpers, and the professors like smiling and waving in their like space jump clothes. The end.
The biggest issue is that
happy ending.
We need to think about 0G in this environment. So maybe this is like a big facility that has its own gravity. Otherwise, something like a beam wouldn't matter. And being
it has some gravity. That goes without saying.
What if it's something less like flying and more like telekinesis? Like he mentally drags himself in different directions, because that will make him more offensive against the Marine.
I feel like it kind of overcomplicates that part. I'm not.
And it also
but trying to explain it,
like when he does this like flying base jumping stuff, he's got a jetpack on, so his flying powers are like whatever. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but he can fly really fast and he's really good at moving, which the others can't with their jetpacks. He uses the jetpack so that nobody thinks he has the powers. He doesn't want everybody to know that he's just a good extreme sports base jumper because he can fly. You know what I mean?
Okay, flying's what's his lifespan then? What's this dude's predicted lifespan in this world?
Maybe 2 more months. Like flight is not a crazy power like to your body.
So do you just randomly get these powers? Do you just like wake up one day and you've got it? Or like do you have to, or is it like a trigger thing? It's like everybody innately has a power that they're kind of loosely aware of, but if you ever use it, that's when your like clock comes on.
I'm gonna say it's like like cancer, like it's just an illness, like that you can just get it, like it doesn't. There's no real rhyme or reason is how I see it.
So then maybe we should see him get it. Maybe we should see him get it on the planet then.
Before this rescue mission, you mean? Like we know as viewers that he's got it?
Yeah, during the course of the movie, we should see him develop the power or something like that, or something weird happens.
Okay, so maybe he's always a base jumper, and then during the training program, he starts to like...
maybe there's a training accident, and he should have died or something like that, and he doesn't die, and they're all just like, fuck, that was lucky, man. It's like, it's crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah, it'll be like, wow, like, I can't believe that you managed to pull up like that because your jetpack tapped out like 30 seconds before. You should have crashed straight into the ground, but you... didn't.
You didn't. Like, yeah, man. Like, I'm lucky. Like something
very
like that.
Lucky. There was a crazy updraft that day.
Or he like brushes it off. Like that's just the jump. Like that's just part of the job. You know, like
just gotta ride them waves. Okay, great. Now, how many people are we talking about for this? Is the movie literally? I kind of see the movie starting with like a scientist on the space station, and there's like people screaming and like bangs and like sparks of electricity, and he's typing on something, and then like has like a scrap with somebody, and then you just see like a flashing light on a control panel, and like that's the intro.
It's very TV.
Yeah, that's me. But I think that'd be cool. So you see that there's like a struggle happening, but then when they get there, there's like, oh yeah, we all died of like oxygen and starvation and shit. And you're like, well, hang on, there was that like weird.
I almost
people
don't need to see that stuff. Like context clues. Like for me, it would be more like it starts in the White House or something like that, being like, we're going to launch this operation. We got to save these people. Here's the context, and you like, you know, rather than being. Because like if we open, so here's the thing with the film, right? Whatever your opening image is a central thing of the film. So if we open on these people struggling in the space station, then this movie is about the struggle and the survival on the space station.
Gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense to me.
But if we open on this dude doing this like insane stunt through an asteroid belt or whatever, then we go, cool. This movie's about him. This movie's about this like insane stunt man, and then all this other stuff can kind of
perfect. Yep. Okay. And then the opening jump, right? He doesn't win the race or whatever because he fucks up an angle. So that then when it's at the end and he's learned from the professor, he makes this crazy loop. And it's not just down to his flight ability. Regardless, he wouldn't have had the know-how to pull that off. It could even be like two asteroids coming together like this, like, and then he pulls up and he goes off course. And then when he's doing it, trying to save the professor, he manages to like make it through the gap.
Yeah, okay. So I think maybe they bring everybody. I think they bring like a whole bunch of people then for this jump. They bring the guy who won, they bring this guy, they bring the guy who came third, bring the other people who came like fourth or fifth or whatever, because they want like a whole crew. Or maybe it's like first and second place and their like personal crew like also come, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they need a reason. There has to be a reason why they say yes. Is it dirt? Is it money? Is it
fame?
You know what I mean? Fame. Oh, it could be fame. Yeah.
It's the final 5 minutes. I have to summarize everything that we've just done in the pitch. Are you ready?
Hey, Welsh, take me on a journey.
I'm going to take you on a journey. Right. So we are making a movie about extreme sports asteroid base jumpers that are legitimate competition people, not illegal street thugs anymore. Okay. Because that's what we said. Locking it in. And they have been sort of recruited to take part in a rescue mission to a top priority government base that is located within an asteroid field on one of the asteroids. Something's gone insanely wrong. They cannot pilot ships through the asteroid belt because of the chaos of all the rocks and the pieces moving around. The only way to get there is by some extreme goddamn space jumping. And every one of them says, hell yes. There's an element of fame, but it's also an element of this is the most dangerous asteroid belt in this part of the galaxy. there's a reason they don't hold competitions there before, but maybe everybody's heard of this. It's like the Great Wave in those Hawaii surf things, right? So
There's
this is
one
like
thing we didn't mention.
What's that? A title.
We didn't put a ticking... Yeah, obviously a fucking title. But it's a ticking time clock. I think it's like these people need to be rescued in a matter of 48 hours, which is why they don't have time to train like Marines to do it.
Yep, exactly right. So the station, there's people going to be dying on the space station. They need to get there because oxygen's running out. Temperature has plummeted and people are just literally freezing to death. They can't power all aspects of the space station. So they have to shut things off to survive the cold. We are also, surprise, set in a world where superpowers exist, and the superpowers are basically illnesses that erode your body over time. The better ability you have, the less time you have to live once you receive the ability. Our main character is a second place runner-up from an initial event that we saw at the start of the movie, who didn't manage to make it around an asteroid because he's an idiot. His crew are all really supportive, and surprisingly the winner is too, because they're really chill dudes. They're all chill dudes in this sport. Radical, chill.
They love the
whatever.
game.
They do it for the love of the game. They are all recruited to escort engineering professors from Harvard down onto the space station to fix and save as many people as they can and escort them back off with jetpack powered flight suits they use for space jumping. With the ticking clock, there's not enough time for them to train new people or get a full crew in, and because of the belt, the only way is to space jump in. So they all get recruited, put through a really brief a 1-day 12-hour training course that's more for the professors to get exposed to what's going to happen to them. We see our second place guy almost die because he screws something up and luckily survives. They then all base jump down onto the space station through the asteroids. It's a crazy action scene. They get there and it turns out, Murray, that one of the professors was not who he said he was, if I'm not mistaken. That's what we decided. We have a minute and a half. Great. Okay, he's nodding. Secret Marine is one of the professors. He did look pretty jacked for a professor, but it's the year 2075 and professors can be jacked, whatever. He ends up betraying them all and pinning them into this enclosed space because it turns out that they're not there to save people. They are there to blow up the facility because it's a research organization looking for a cure to the superhero powers that are plaguing the planet. Because when people get the superhero power, they get enrolled into the military for the month they have left to live, so it's all seemingly dodgy. The military does not want this cure to get out and prevent them getting any more ground troops. As this happens, it's revealed that our second place space jumper actually has a superpower and he's got a limited amount of time left to live. He can fly. That's why he's so good currently after the training montage at his space jumping. And together with the professor and another guy, they break out and they go to evac until his professor that he's been saddled with and didn't get along with but now does decides to make a break for the source code to finding the cure for the superhero power. He races after him. The Marine is there. He's broke the control panel. It's all about to blow up. The professor's hacking in trying to download the stuff. Our character has a fight with the superpowered Marine. He just gets through using a physics property that he learned from the professor, and then as everything starts to blow up and the rest of all evacs, our character whisks up the professor and the cure as a mad dash through an exploding space station to get back to the spaceship and keeping him alive. He dies as he gets on the spaceship, gives the kid the superpower cure as he's dying and says, "Be better, be a better man and save the world and save yourself." And he says, "Yes, I will. I'll become a professor as well." And then we have a whitewash screen as he's crying over the body. It fades back in, and our main character is now 20 years older. So you know he survived and everything's all chill with the powers. He's teaching engineering and he smiles at his desk, and we see a picture of the initial crew that was put together and they're all smiling and waving at the camera. The end. The movie is called... The movie is called... Cold Jump.
The worst title I think I've ever heard. But I didn't come up with anything better. I was thinking like base, or like space base, or space jump.
Cold Jump. Die Hard. Con Air. Cold Jump. Speed.
Okay. We're in. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our film, Cold Jump. Yay!
The title's so trash. The title could have been
Hey, you're
so
the one that
much
locked
better.
it in, man. You could have had
We
that
didn't-
discussion. You could have
The
talked
time-
to me.
The time had run out. That was literally the last second.
Well, there you go. Oh,
I had.
too bad.
There was no talking. We had 5 minutes to say
The
all of
title
that.
is As Your Brain Fart Has Determined. Cold Jump. What an amazing film. Which looks completely
I'm
defeated.
so ashamed of that title. I'm so disappointed.
I'm coming around to it, so it's fine.
Old Jump, starring. It doesn't matter who is
Keanu
starring.
Reeves. Oh, no,
Keanu
he's too
Reeves.
old now.
Oh, he's the professor.
I'll take it. I'll allow it.
All right, cool.
Thanks for letting us take you on a journey. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at Scripty Business for all our updates and let us know what you thought of this week's episode. You can also follow us ourselves at Murray vs. the World and at SA Welshie to see what we're up to. Join the Patreon for access to bonus content and to unlock all previous seasons. Head to patreon.com/scriptybusinesspodcast today. We appreciate your help with us keeping the lights on and the cameras rolling, and we've got some extra surprises in store, so watch this space as we grow. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. Until then, stay awesome. We love you. Scripty Business is a Soul Hole production, hosted by the Peas Inner Network. You've been listening to Murray Curtis and Luke Wilkinson Turner.